Alrighty, it has been a minute since I put out a video. I've been out on the water a couple times, but just nothing of any interest really. A couple of things I wanted to share is I picked up a couple of great fishing rods. Some of them were for Christmas, some of them were just because I worked a hella amount of overtime. And right now I'm setting up in the weeds. I don't know if you can see how clear the water is, but there's oysters and stuff like that there. Out right around the corner from, if I go around this little bend here, it'll be right back into the main McKay Creek. I'm off on a little estuary, and it's kind of a multi-creek dumping zone, and somehow or another I set an alarm. Anyways, just kind of laying up. It's a little bit chilly out. It is, let me see here. Sorry, I'm trying to look at my 57, and it's kind of a butt kicker coming out here because it was outgoing tide and the wind was blowing in my face the whole way out here. It's probably a 5-mile paddle or something like that. Anyways, so the long and the short of it here is I have these two rods with me. This one's a Fenwick Eagle. I think this is just a medium heavy and fast action. And then that one there that's going out that way is a Fenwick medium light with a fast action. One of the things that I wanted to share is, you know, people are always putting on how they made a stakeout pole or whatever, and you know, it's kind of cool. You know, some of the stuff is pretty cool, but I wanted to show you my iteration of it. It started out life as a ski pole. Yes, a ski pole. I'm sticking my oar over here so I can anchor myself that way so I don't keep trying to drift downstream. Just over there is Pinckney Island, and I believe that going around that way will dump into the maybe the Colleton River. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to look at the map again. Broad River something. But anyways, what I made was a push pole / anchor pole. A lot of people are making them out of PVC and stuff like that, or fiberglass rod. And I decided, you know, I'm going to be a little bit different. And what I did is I bought a ski pole. Okay, there was a cup down there. I pulled it off, and right there there was a handle, you know, so that you can push with the ski pole. And underneath this black Gorilla Tape is some foam, and underneath that is a section of PVC to give it a little bit more length, and then there's a wooden dowel that I've stuck in the end there. All that is in the name of having just a little bit more depth for anchoring if I'm trying to lay up somewhere, and it really allows you to just drive it right down into the oyster bed and anchor up real solid. Some of them that I've made kind of flexible, and don't really do the job as well as you'd think they would. So, in any case, just cut the end off the handle end off the push pole, off the ski pole, and stuck it inside a piece of PVC after I heated it up with a blowtorch and caused it to become a little bit more pliable, and crammed it up in there and bashed it down with a hammer. And then did the same thing there with the wooden dowel. And just so it would float if it ever got away from me and I wouldn't lose it, I put the foam noodle. But to my surprise, even without the foam, it floats because it's hollow aluminum shaft. So there it is. Where I'm at right here, like I said, is a kind of a five-way. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way intersection of creeks that are emptying right out into this and going out that way. And then, believe it or not, there's nature's little roundabout right outside there. You can't really see it, but it is, and the water kind of swirls around it. So what I figured I would do is I brought out my fly rods, and what I did is I put together a couple fly rods. Now, I showed you the Fenwicks that I got for Christmas, but you know, everybody is you know, into the saltwater fly fishing, and I wanted to try it. I felt that that would be a fishing discipline that I need to learn, as well as everything else. And so I have a 9. They're both ugly sticks. One is a 10 weight, and the other one is a 8 weight, 7, 8 weight, something like that. I don't know. And I overlined both of them. So the 10 weight has a 11 weight floating weight forward floating tip, and a OX1 leader tippet, and some sort of a lure fly on the end of that. And then the other one is an 8-foot, or is a 8 weight that is also overlined. It has a 9-foot sinking tip, weight forward line, and I believe that's an O2 or O3 or X3 leader tippet setup, and it also has a lighter fly on it. And altogether, all of them, I don't think, with everything combined, is, I don't have much more than a couple $100 in the whole shebang. So I wanted to show that you could get a quality fly rod. On the reels, came from China. They're aluminum, machined, and maybe in a later video I'll show you how I've got it all together. And instead of going with the traditional backing that you would buy for a fly rod and the expense that would go with that, I went ahead and used Gorilla fly line, Berkeley Gorilla, you know, the old school braid, that white and green braid that is that you can buy at Walmart, and it's 50-pound braid backing. And and I had that because I've got 50-pound braid that on a couple of my saltwater rods. And you know, I believe that it can be done a lot cheaper than a $950 rod. You know, oh, and I bought the line off of eBay. They were used, and both of them in excellent condition. I'm really happy with them. One was $9 combined with shipping and everything, and the other one I think was like $11. And they were started out life as $78 just by themselves. So yeah, I think I got a pretty good deal. So right out there, I believe I've got some fish wandering by. So I'm gonna shut up and start seeing if I can't catch a fish out here. know, right? Who knows? Maybe it won't just be an exercise, it'll be a catching fish thing. So I'll probably add on to this, but that's what we're doing, and you can see the wake of a fish kind of flitting around. So let me see if I can give them something to bite on. All right, I'll talk to you. Okay, so the sun's going down. I'm bringing the, well, it's already out of the water off the ramp. I have to admit, I was a little frustrated with the whole thing, so I don't know. I had second guessed and just, tried to make myself believe that it was just, me being a wuss or what. Sorry about the movement on the camera. Being a wuss, but this thing's an absolute. I mean, is it stable? Absolutely. Is it an absolute pain in the ass to get it in and out of the water? Double absolutely. So, that being said, I mean, there's so many components that you gotta strap down. So anyways, I just wanted to take a minute and show you the Fenwick rod. That's an eagle, and it is a medium fast, 7 feet. Okay, that's what that is. It's really a pretty rod. Works very well. Casts like a beast. That's a Tryon. I think it's a 25, which is actually, I don't even know if it's for use with salt water, but it was today, so it is what it is. And this is its buddy. I seem to like my stuff in pairs. Sorry, I'm just pointing off at the ground here. And this is a eagle, Fenwick eagle, and it is a 7-foot medium heavy fast. So that's a little stiffer, and it's got a President Series, Fluger President Series 35, I believe. Anyways, this is strung with 8-pound fluorocarbon, okay, and it's got that lure on it, which was pretty effective on redfish today. This one is the 20 Fluger Tryon 20 is strung with 10-pound braid. I just wanted to see, there's so many effing things that it gets hooked on and wrapped around. So this one has 20-pound braid, or 10-pound braid. That's what I wanted to show you. And it's a Fluger Tryon. That's the 20. Okay. So that's that one. In the mechanism to hold the outriggers together and stable, there's these bolts right here, and those are what the line was getting hooked on. And these are the 2 bait casters, and I'm at my limit with these things twisting and catching everything. It was an interesting deal. This one here had a pretty nice live target clean shrimp, kind of a dirty color. and the redfish were right up on the shore, busting on the shore, and these two were sticking out the back of the kayak. Now this is the that's the Chinese reel, and this is a 910 weight reel. This is a 9-foot 10 weight rod, ugly stick, big water. That's the 11-pound saltwater fly line, and I used a blood knot to connect a small amount of tippet to the I don't know if it's in the picture or not. Yeah, there it is, blood knot. 20-pound fluorocarbon on the end of the tippet, because the tippet that came with it wasn't really long enough, and they had taken the loop connection off, and I believe they used a nail nut and had it on there, so I just didn't want to mess with it. It seemed like a pretty good setup, so I strung it and used that tippet that was on it. I mean, these are pretty nice little reels. I think they're like $60 each, something like that. They're not super expensive. They're not $900. Two-piece, 8 foot. This one is a 989 weight, and this is again overlined. This has got a 9-weight saltwater line on it, and I put a with a handshake knot or connection where it can be removed rather easily. No, actually, yeah, it's right there. I had to put a nail knot in the end of it and put a new loop on it, and then the handshake connection there with a 3X tippet. And then they both have some sort of a fly. This one's got a popping cork. The 10 weight's got the popping cork, and the 8 weight has a shrimp. I didn't really even mess with those too much. So anyways, that's the whole shebang. There's the muddy Stakeout stick, and there's the outrigger arms, and it's the back of the car and the life jacket. One of the things that I realized just the other day, quite by accident, not intentionally, is that my life jacket isn't really for sure it's not a kayaking life jacket. It is a fishing life jacket. It has a fold-out platform here with a line thing for flies, stuff like that on it. So it's kind of cool, but it's not a kayaking life vest whatsoever. I mean, in no world would that ever be a kayak, but that's what I've got. That's what I bought. I wanted something that would give me the most flotation if I ever fell out of the boat, and I have actually cut up my hand pretty good on some oysters. So I'm gonna take this puppy over, and everything's going through the car wash and pressure power washing all this mud and gunk and crap off of it. And I'll probably touch bases with you again in there.